Good morning. Welcome to theory video number 10. And today I'm going to help you with the right hand treble clef and left hand bass clef notes. We're going to work on quick note recognition so that everyone can get better at recognizing the notes more quickly. So today make sure you have your workbook and your pencil out because you will be writing some of these things down in your workbook. So go ahead and get that ready. You can pause your video. The first thing that you're going to do when you're ready is draw a staff with a treble clef, like mine. Starting at the bottom, we count up 5 lines and 4 spaces, and we know that makes a staff. 5 lines and 4 spaces create a staff. And when we close it in on each end with a bar line, we create a measure. Okay. All right, so today we're going to review Every Good Boy Does Fine and FACE. We know if we put those in order of the alphabet, it would be E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F. But when we pull just the lines out, E, G, B, D, F, E, G, B, D, F, E, G, B, D, F, and that's a quick way to name the notes. You just have to learn that little E, G, B, D, F. E, G, B, D, F. Every Good Boy Does Fine equates to E, G, B, D, F. So that's what we're going to work on today. Being able to quickly identify if it's the E, it's the first one. E, G, B, D, F. E, G, B. If it's number 3, it's B. E, G, B. E, G, B. E, G, B, D, F. E, G, B, D, F. So if it's the top one, it's F. If it's the first one, it's E. If it's the third one, it's B. E, G, B. So the second one is G. E, G, B. And our fourth and final is D. E, G, B, D, F. E, G, B, D, F. So we're going to write that on our staff. And that's going to be our quick way to find our note names. E, G, B, D, F. E, G, B, D, F. E, G, B, D, F. So if I gave you a note and said, what note is it? You would quickly say E, G, B, D. That's a D. E, G, B, D. E, G, B, D. E, G, B, D, F. So if I gave you another line, you would say E-G. So it's a G. E-G, B, D, F. E-G. Line 2 is G. All right, so let's do that a little bit more. Get used to it. E-G. E-G, B, D. E-G, B, D, F. All right, so you tell me, what is line 3? E-G, B. What is line 5? Well, most of you already know that's F. What's line 1? That's E. E, G, E, G, B, D, F. What's line 4? That's D. What's line 1? That's E. 2, G, E, G, E, G, B, E, G, B, D, F. What's line 1? E. Line 4, D. Line 3, B. Line 2, G, E, G. Line 5, F. E, G, B, D, F. That stands for Every Good Boy Does Fine. E, G, B, D, F. Okay, so you'll want to work on that this week. Make sure you memorize E, G, B, D, F. E, G, B, D, F. And then you'll quickly be able to recognize those note names a lot faster if you have that little sequence, E, G, B, D, F. Okay, we'll do some of those in just a minute. First, let's go ahead and do the left hand. This is our quick note recognition, E, G, B, D, F for the treble clef. Now let's do the bass clef. Okay, so you're going to draw a staff. And that staff's going to have a bass clef. Closing it in with bar lines on the end. And then we're drawing our bass clef starting on line 4 with our dot, half a heart, a dot above the 4th line and a dot below the 4th line. That's our bass clef. Okay, so we're going, you remember when we did our bass clef, we said great big dogs fight animals. Jibbity-F-A, jibbity-F-A, jibbity-F-A. Jibbity-F-A is going to be our quick note recognition way to identify. Jibbity-F, G, B, D, F, and the top one is an A. Jibbity-F-A. Okay, so let's do a couple. So if I gave you line 2 in the bass clef, you'd say GB, 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 GB. So that's B. If I gave you the top one, it's an A. The bottom one is a G, GB. The third one's a D. We already know line 4 because that's where we start building our bass clef. Line 4 is our F. So the bass clef can be called an F clef as well. It starts on the F line. G-B-D-F, 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 G-B-D-F-A, G-B-D-F-A. So let's mark those. G, B, D, F, G-B-D-F, and A on the top. G-B-D-F-A, G-B-D-F-A. Okay, so if we were doing a bass clef note and we wanted to quickly find out, well, this one is where we start. It's on the 4th line, so we know that one's an F. Let me grab another couple for the bass clef. Okay. All right, so if we have line 2 in the bass clef, jibby, jibby, jibbity-F-A, jibbity-F-A, jibby, that's our B, jibby, jibby, jibbity-F-A, 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 jibby. Line 2 is B. All right, starting at the bottom, G-B-D-F-A, Jibbity-F-A. That top line in the bass clef is an A. So you want to quickly be able to recognize those. I'll give you a couple more to practice. Bottom line, G, Jibbity-F-A. Line 3, Jibbity. That's a D. Line 2, GB, GB, Jibbity-F-A, GB. Line 2 is B. Now we said line 4 is our easy one because that's where we start drawing our bass clef, F clef, so that's our F. Jibbity-F-A. Top one is an A, bottom one is a G, Jibbity-F-A. So all of those will be important when you're trying to name notes in the bass clef quickly. You've got to have a little way to remember them and saying the sentence, great big dogs fight animals, and then figuring out the first letter. That takes longer. So if you can just remember Jibbity-F, Jibbity-F, Jibbity-F-A, Jibbity-F-A, line 1, G, B, D, F, A. Jibbity-F-A. All right, so we're going to do some notes now, and they're going to bounce back and forth between the treble and the bass. So you have to first decide, is it a right-hand note or a left-hand note? This first one is a left-hand note, and so you're going to be using the Jibbity-F-A. Jibbity-F-A. So that's an A. Jibby, Jibbity-F-A, Jibby. So that's a B in the bass clef. Now here comes, oops, this one's upside down. Here comes a space note, and that's all cows eat grass. A-C-E-G, 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 A. That's your A. Yeah, I probably need to go through and make sure all of these are turned the right way before I start. Okay. Now, our bass clef, and was the very first one. J, 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 Jibbity F A, J, 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 G. Jibbity, Jibbity, Jibbity F A, Jibbity F A. That's D in the bass clef. Jibbity, Jibbity. Now here comes a space note in the left hand. All cows eat. That's your letter E. And now here come some right hand notes. So let's go back and see if we remember. E, G, B, D, F, E, G, B, D, F, E, G, B, D, F. That's your treble clef. That's your F. Top line in the right hand, F. Bottom line in the right hand, E. E, G, B, D, F, E. And the very first space in the right hand, F, A, C, E, F. Those are easy. F, A. And then the note right under the treble clef, above middle C, it's finger 2 normally, and it's number 2, letter D. So it doesn't have a line going through it. If it had a line going through it, it'd be middle C. F, A, C, E. F, A, C, E. Spaces in the treble clef. Okay, so you have a set of flashcards. You need to be working on these, and you need to be working on your app. Name that note for treble and bass. We started out with beginning, and we all should be able to do those with a 10 out of 10 easily in the amount of time that they give us. And maybe some of you have already started the intermediate level, and that's great. If you can go ahead and start working on improving your speed, that'd be great. Also want to talk a little bit about review the C major scale. That's when you're starting on C and you're ending on C, because we know a scale is when we play 8 notes in a certain order. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. C, D, E, then we put our thumb under, F, G, A, B, C. Now all of you should have practiced the C major scale, and also you should be working on our new scale, which is going to be the G major scale. And I'm going to talk about that today. So let's talk about, if we start on a G, let's start here, and we'll end on this G. But we have to remember in the G scale, we're going to have an accidental. And that accidental that we're going to be using is called F sharp. So let me write down what that looks like. F sharp. And the F sharp that we're going to use is going to be here. So when we make a note sharp, we leave the regular note and raise it a half step. So it's going to be the black key in this case. So when we get here, this is the note we'll play. Instead of plain F, we'll play the black key, which is an F sharp. So we'll start with G with our thumb, G, A, B. After 3, we put our thumb under, and we play C, D, E, F sharp, G. G, A, B, thumb under, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then when we go backwards, we play all 5. G, F sharp, E, D, C. Cross our 3rd finger over because we still have 3 more notes to play. 3, 2, 1. G, A, B, thumb under, 1, 2, 3, F sharp, G. Going backwards, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, cross 3 over, 3, 2, 1. And that is your G major scale. So you'll want to make sure you're practicing both your C major scale and your G major scale. And we've already talked a little bit about chords, so you'll want to make sure you're working on those as well for the C major, and then we'll talk later about the G major chords. Okay, so your worksheet that you have to fill out is going to be working on note names. This particular one is just for the treble, just for the right hand, and then I made it into a crossword puzzle. So you'll fill in your answers beside each of the notes and then plug them into your crossword puzzle, similar to a worksheet we've done before. Now you'll be receiving 3 of these worksheets this week. You'll have video 10, video 11, and video 12. And all of them are crossword puzzles. So after video 12, that's the 3rd week in November for the folks that are on the first set of videos, we'll be stopping our videos because our Christmas books are here, and we'll spend our last month of this year of 2020 working out of our Christmas book and learning lots of songs that you can share with your family over the holidays. So I'll look forward to passing those Christmas books out this week, and you get busy working on naming your notes more quickly, and your C scale and your G scale, and I look forward to seeing all of you at your lesson this week. Have a great week. See you soon.